Hello everyone, this is Crystal Potthoff from Prayerful Arts, and if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I do most of my patterns on a chicken egg. Chicken eggs are easily found, even if sometimes they're kind of expensive at the store. I do blow my eggs out, and so we do eat the eggs. These I just bought at the local grocery store. Sometimes I can find farm fresh eggs. Those are great to have. They don't always come in white. You don't have to do it on white. You can do other colors. But anyway, I do a lot on chicken eggs, which is fine. Well, I have been working on some studio cleanup. It kind of hit a standstill. But one of the things I was doing recently was going through my stash of eggs that are of blown out eggs. So I have chicken eggs. I have some white eggs. I have some brown eggs. And then I had a bunch of other kind of eggs, and I thought maybe it would be fun to do some video with other types of eggs that I don't normally do. So I found this box of quail eggs, and these I am pretty sure, especially these that I got from a friend of a friend. And because it looks like I blew them out and they were drying in here. And I know this was probably over a year ago, so they're really dry. So these are quail eggs. And then I found this box in my stash that said jumbo quail eggs. And I thought, are they really jumbo quail eggs? So I held them up, and I have no idea where these jumbo ones came from. None. So I held the jumbo next to the one, and they are bigger. So as a quail egg goes, it's a jumbo. So here's the chicken egg hidden down there. So that's the difference in size. Now, one of the other big differences is obviously the shells on the quail eggs are much thinner. I know a lot of times when people try to blow these quail eggs out, they don't all make it. Now, these are all quail eggs that look like this. Sometimes you buy quail eggs and they look like this, and you think, well, that's really pretty, but I don't think I can do Pysanky on it. Well, you can remove these spots. So what I'm going to do is I am going to plug the egg, and I'm going to put it in the vinegar for just a few seconds and then rub it to get the spots off. And then we'll start working on doing a design on one of these. Now, obviously, you can't, well, you could do a very, very intricate design, but obviously a much smaller surface. So when I've done quail eggs in the past, I've tended to do a little more of a simplistic design, just so I don't feel like I'm cramping to get things on there. Now, if you have one of the super duper uber fine Kiskas, you can do that. You can make some really fine lines on there, but maybe you don't. So you're going to go with something that maybe is a star. Well, we'll talk about that. But first, I'm going to get the spots off this. And I'll be perfectly honest, I don't remember if these came with spots on them or not. I do see I have two in here. I don't know if I have any more. I just seem to have these two. And these two look to be, okay, here's the jumbo one. Well, the ones with the spots are kind of in between. All right. And a quail egg has a point on it here. They're very pointed at the top. And if you can see that, that's how you know they're quail eggs. That's by the shape of it, size and general shape. Okay, I'm going to take these spots off, and then we'll be back and work on a pattern. All right, well, I am back. I have removed the spots from this, but I learned something. Okay, do you see this little white spot here? So I had plugged the egg with my silicone plug rather than plugging it with wax, and in the process of the vinegar in that, a little piece chipped off. So, and water got inside of it. So I'm not going to be doing anything with this one for a while it dries, and it's kind of dripped over the desk here. So I have another one in there. I will be plugging that with wax before I put it in the vinegar. And it actually took about a minute in the vinegar to get the spots off. I would recommend you check if your egg every 15 seconds, depending on what type vinegar, how strong it is. I had mine in the distilled vinegar, just the regular white vinegar, but it wasn't a brand new thing of vinegar. It had been used on some other eggs. So anyway, but you can get all those spots off. So this was the one that looked like this one. And so you see the spots came off, and it's no longer the speckled color. This is a really pretty egg. I don't know, I might just leave it like that. It's so cute. And I've got a lot of other ones here. Okay, so let's get started with a design. All right, so we have our regular sized quail egg. I have the 3/4 inch template that I got from Ukrainian gift shop that I'm going to use to help me divide up the egg. And I'm going to use a little piece of newsprint like this to mark the top. I actually have to do it on a hard surface. Okay, it made a little mark on the top. Okay. This was the size I had that fit. It was kind of too big for the 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to mark it at the 90 and the 45 all the way around. Oops. So it's sitting in there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a very simple 48 triangle on this. These also make really great kind of cute little Christmas ornaments. And when I have made nativities, I have used the quail egg for the baby Jesus. Yes, he does have a little bit of a pointed head, but when I use like a chicken egg and then a goose egg, size-wise, it makes it's really nice size. Okay, so we're going to draw lines all the way around. I'm going to draw this on this one. I'm going to draw 4 lines going all the way around, so it'll be divided into 8 sections. And I know you probably cannot see the lines. I am not drawing them heavy. I will link how to draw a 48 triangle, because I don't know if the colored pencil will cut. You know what the heck, I've got a whole bunch of them. Let's try the colored pencil, but first I'm going to measure them out. All right, so now I'm going to measure and mark kind of the halfway point. Now it's like 4.5, so I'm going to go 2 and just a little extra. And you can, when your egg is like really pointed at the top and really fat at the bottom, sometimes I make the top part a little longer, if that makes sense. It makes it look more balanced. All right, let's grab a colored pencil. Why not? Let's see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to draw the equator. And I'll redraw my lines here too. That went all the way around the egg. And for me, honestly, the biggest challenge in doing these quail eggs is holding onto them while I do them, because I'm very used to doing the chicken egg, and I know how that fits and feels in my hand, and these are a whole lot smaller. And when I get to it, you will see the other challenge is to not burn yourself with the kiska while you're doing these. Now, I have only ever done quail eggs using an electric Kiska. My concern is that it would be too hot to touch it with the candle heated Kiska. I have never tried it. Should we try that too? All right. I hear you. I hear you. I got a whole bunch of quail eggs in there. If this doesn't work out, then we know it doesn't work out. Okay, so I am going to use, I'm really glad now I'm not doing a complicated pattern. So I'm going to use my candle heated Kiska, and I don't have the super uber duper fine one. I have a fine one, and that's what we'll use. And we now have this divided into almost the 48 triangles. And okay, so I am going to get out the candle heated. I'm going to use my fine, and we're going to try to put some lines on here and see what happens. Okay, I have my alcohol lamp here that I'm going to light, and then check the flame to make sure it's not hitting the camera. Okay, it's going to have to go off to the side here because you're just going to have to believe me, it's there. I can't show it on camera because it's going to scorch my phone, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to heat up my fine Delrin Kiska, and then it had wax in it, so I'm going to wipe it off. I don't want any of that on the outside. Test it. Is it making a line? It's really smoking. See if there's any gunk in it with a dental brooch. Okay, nothing came out. All right, looks like it's writing okay. All right. All right, moment of truth. We're going to touch it to the egg. Okay, let's see. Guess I should have given these little quail eggs a little more credit than what I did. All right, well, it's working. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go over all of these lines that I drew. And then I will be thinking about the rest of the pattern while I draw these lines. So I have all of my lines drawn, and what I have decided I'm going to do is put a little triangle in every other one. Now this egg it's not exactly white, it's kind of a cream color. So I'm going to do that here, just to keep a little bit more of this color on it. And then I'm not going to use a silicone plug just because of what happened with the other one when it, chipped a little bit there on the end. So I'm not going to use the silicone plug when I get ready to dye this. I am going to actually plug it with the wax. So I'm going to do that now. So that's probably too much. Pinched off a little bit of wax. And kind of rolling it around into a ball, smushing it down so it's like a little ball smushed down. I'm going to put that over the top of the hole. And then I'm going to go around it. And when I finish this one, there will be this white circle on the bottom. I haven't decided yet. I might be putting a hanger on this, and if I do, I will put it over this end. So if you think of normally you think of an egg with the pointy part at the top, and this one, it will hang like that way, if that's what I decide to do. All right, I need to put the rest of these on there, and then we'll be ready to put it in the first color. So I have all of my elements on there, and I'm going to start with my very light blue, which is a tablespoon of prepared light blue from Ukrainian gift shop, a tablespoon of vinegar, and a cup of water. Now, these are easily lost in the jar of dye. So I am going to put it on the spoon. I'm going to put it in there, and I'm just going to kind of roll it around. All right, I'm going to, with these spoons, it's not going to, I'm going to have to hold it down because the spoon is too big to hold it down. Do that until I get it the color I want, and then we'll take it out and work on the next element. You can see it better there. It's slowly changing color. I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get to be a shade of light blue that I like. So I'll just keep playing with it. Well, it's been in here for a couple of minutes. I actually forgot how long, maybe about 3. And it's, yeah, that'll work. It's a lighter blue. Okay, I'll dry this off, and we'll put some more wax on it. Okay, that is a really pretty shade of the very light blue. And now we're going to put some more lines on it. I'm going to call this like my warm-up egg because I'm starting to feel really confident now. How well this is going. We'll see how it happens, what the end result is. All right, so now I'm calling my warm-up egg because I'm not doing an incredibly intricate design. All right, so now what I'm going to do is in these spaces where I don't have anything, I'm just going to draw some lines, just like that. And I'm drawing them toward the point. I'm calling that the point. Because when I look at the 48 triangle, I see the 8 triangles. That's how I look at it. I mean, there's different ways to look at the design, but that's how I tend to look at it. So I like them when they're alternating. The designs in each one of the triangles is alternating. Okay. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm being really careful not to burn myself because your Kiska's getting pretty close to your your fingers in some of these cases. So anyway, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to dye it in one more color. I haven't decided if I'm going to do dark blue or black. I'll do one of those 2 colors, and that'll be my final color, and then we'll take the wax off. And because I am feeling incredibly adventurous, I think I'm going to try taking the wax off with the candle rather than the oven, because then I'll know, can it all be done with the candle heated ones. I just know that for me, sometimes when I'm doing the candle heated ones, I think I get it hotter than the electric ones, because electric ones, you know, they're being controlled by the way they're made. And this is just me putting it in the flame and making sure it's not smoking when I take it out. So, all right. All right, come back and see if I decided to go with black or blue for the final color. All right, this is fun. Experimenting, it's fun. Okay, well, I decided to use the black. I did try the royal blue, and it didn't take the color deeply. The black isn't quite as deep as I would like either. So I think the next one I do, I'm going to dip it in vinegar before I put it in the first dye color, definitely. Or it could be that my dye is getting old too. All right, so now it's time to take the wax off. So I'm going to very carefully remove this. Okay, and then I'm going to attempt to do this with my alcohol lamp. So let me zoom. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Make sure that I'm not going to catch anything on fire, including me. All right. Let's light the candle and see what happens. I shouldn't say candle. I should say alcohol lamp, because that's what it is. Okay. I'm going to come in. I know it's just barely in the camera, but I don't want to burn up my phone. Okay. I'm going to start at the bottom right here, going back and forth. I'm coming in at the side of the flame, not on the top. Oh, okay. Bad idea. It scorched it. We'll finish it off in the oven. Can you see that? Okay. Okay. I'm going to finish it off in the oven. Not like this. We'll see if I can. Okay, well, I said it was an experiment. Okay, I'll finish it off in the oven and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Well, it's a good thing this doesn't smell of vision, because burnt quail egg doesn't smell real nice. But I took the rest of the wax off in the oven, and I think it looks pretty adorable for a first try on a quail egg. I am going to try something a little more elaborate. Some of the colored pencil lines are still on there. Well, it's going to be this one. You know what? This one's going in my collection. I'm going to try the Goo Gun on it and see if that takes off that. Let's see what happens. So I use this product, Goo Gun. It has the spray top. And what I do is I spray a little bit on a tissue, and then I roll the egg around in it. This will take off pencil lines. It will take off excess wax. It can take off dye, so don't rub too much. It can take off scorch marks, but it's not going to here. Okay, so did that? All right, you know what? That didn't really take off the colored pencil lines. Okay, this was an experiment. All right, so next one, I'm not going to use the colored pencil. I'm just going to use a regular pencil. And I'm going to put it in vinegar before I put it in the dye. And I am not going to take off the wax with the candle. Okay. This was a great first experiment. I really kind of pushed myself to try a whole bunch of new things in one video. So let's take what I've learned and try it on another quail egg. And it will take me a little bit to get that quail egg done. So be watching for that video, hopefully coming up maybe within the next couple of days. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.